Alright, hi guys. Welcome to this installment of the book club for bitches who don't read.
And we are the bitches.
We really have been the bitches who don't read lately.
Yeah. You know what? I was just, I guess we'll go into it, but I was just packing up my room, and I saw, how many books I have. I have, 3 boxes worth of books, and I was
nice. Yeah.
Yes, queen. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the book club is about 7 of those.
Yeah. I know, I'm kind of sad that, we just have these giant Edgar Allan Poe books, because it's, his whole collection of work, so I can't, put it... I guess I could put it with all the other books, but...
Yeah, I know.
You know
and,
what I mean?
They're nicer. It's, a nicer...
Yeah.
Mine, at least, I, won't even touch it. I didn't even want to read it. I was going to read it on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it's so...
I know, I feel like I was reading out of the Bible or something. Right. It was just, I had this giant book in my lap. Yeah.
I hope I never breathe again.
Stop it.
No, I'm serious.
This month, like Madeline, we did a short story called The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe.
We did.
And, not quite what I remembered.
It's very short. It's 6
pages. It is very short. I had it confused in my mind with The Pit and the Pendulum, which is a little more exciting. It's a little bit more torture.
Yeah.
But it was still good, and I mean...
Yeah.
It made me feel stupid, but it was also written in the 1800s just because of the, verbiage and stuff. I'm like...
Oh, yeah, he's so dramatic.
Yeah. Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe is awesome.
Yeah.
I think... I like his work as a whole, but I think I lean more towards his poems rather than the stories. But the stories are cool, too, just because they're so...
They're 1800s scary.
Yeah, they're just disturbing. This story was just a little disturbing to me. At the end, you can't say it wasn't disturbing because I forgot about that twist.
What twist?
When she comes back.
Oh, well, yeah.
But I don't know. I thought it was
I feel like my gauge for freakiness is so high.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading it and I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I only knew about that twist because we were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah,
it was probably made it underwhelming for me. But, if I had some random friend write me and was like, hey, I know we were good friends when we were,
boys.
Kids. Yeah. Or girls. I mean...
I
was a boy.
I was thinking about the characters in the story. But no, just, in general.
No. You're right.
Yeah. We thought we would, be a little intoxicated.
Get a little crazy.
Yeah, just to make this a little more interesting because... we were a little underwhelmed this month.
As usual. Story of my life. But if someone texted me and was like, hey, I know I haven't seen you since, the elementary school days, but I'm not feeling well. Can you come over and, spend time with me, keep me company, give me all this funk? I'd be like, no.
Yeah, in the middle of a forest and,
I
nowhere.
got stuff to do. Mama got work in the morning.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Get yourself out of the phone. Go see a therapist.
Yeah.
Get an antidepressant.
Yeah, so let's discuss the summary of this.
Wait, we need to do life updates.
Should we? Okay.
Well,
yeah, no, let's do life updates.
No,
let's do life updates.
You go.
No, I want to do
We're
life
moving.
updates.
That's all I want to say for references to what's packing up my room.
Yep. Haley and I are moving. And we're not moving in the same direction, unfortunately. Physically, not mentally.
Oh, I was like, oh.
Physically, not mentally.
Yeah.
Haley is moving up into the big, bad world of New York City.
And I'm going to get eaten alive.
And I'm going to stay here for a little bit longer and...
then go to the southern Manhattan.
Okay. Yeah, so
that's why we're packing.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure anyone that knows this probably knows this.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll get back into that later, I guess. This is going to be, I feel like we're anticipating a shorter episode, so we're going to delve into, our personal lives at the end of this episode, in case anybody gives a shit.
Yeah. I think people probably give more of a shit about the book.
Probably. That's why they tuned in the first place.
But I feel like by default they should be more interested in how. Because my life is so interesting.
It's kind of a big deal.
No, okay. Yeah, let's get into the book. Let's talk about Mr. Poe.
Okay. So, follow the House of Usher. There's a narrator. He's never given a name, even though in the movie that we watched...
in the movie we watched, the 1950 version.
His name was Jonathan. And there was another guy named Richard, and the movie just took this story and ran.
Literally.
But so, yeah, it talks about this narrator who shows up at the House of Usher, and he's visiting a boyhood friend that had written to him saying that, like, he's fallen ill and he wants the narrator to come and visit, and for some reason the narrator does. He hasn't seen this guy. This guy's name is Roderick Usher, too, the guy that lives here. And the narrator hasn't seen him since they were children. And even in the story, he talks about how, like, they were never super close or anything.
Right.
So he gets there and he talks about how, like, awful and, like, dreary, like,
And he still stays.
Yeah, like, the outside of the castle house looks. And, he goes inside and it's even more, like, depressing and weird and eerie. And, yeah, and he still stays. And, he, like, keeps this guy company, and this guy has a sister who has fallen ill as well.
Yeah.
And it's, like, I feel like I missed some, like, underlying theme or something. Like, I don't know if there was some sort of curse put on the Ushers, but it talks about their, like, long lineage and how they're the last two left, and, like, the name Usher is gonna die with Roderick Usher, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, his sister dies. Or so we think. And he makes this guy, the narrator, help bury her in, like, the wall of the castle that he lives in.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
If somebody was like, bury my sister.
Just for a few weeks, though, he said.
But still.
For a fortnight.
But still, I'd have been like, no.
Yeah. I was like...
I gotta go.
Yeah. He should have left a while ago.
People have way too much time in their hands in the 19th century. If you could just go... You know? And just go and, like, hang out for, a couple weeks and bury someone in a wall.
And be okay with it.
Sorry.
So, the sister's name is Madeline. And according to Spark Notes, Roderick Usher wanted to bury her temporarily in the tombs below the house because he wanted to keep her, or he feared that doctors might dig up her body for scientific experimentation. Or examination, because she had, like, a really strange disease. She couldn't go in the sun. She couldn't listen to music, like, certain kind of music. It was so bizarre, like, what she couldn't do.
She just sounds like a brat, to be honest.
Yeah. She was a very fragile person. And so, apparently, I must have missed that while reading, because it was really hard to focus. But apparently that's why he wanted to bury her in the house for a few weeks, which, if somebody dies in a house and you don't want to alert people immediately, that's kind of a red flag to me personally.
Bury them in the wall?
Yeah. Or just not to tell people that this person's dead.
Yeah. I would have been, kind of distrusting from the start, to be honest. From the very first letter. There wouldn't have been a House of Usher because I wouldn't have gone.
No.
I'd have stayed in my lane.
Yeah.
And minded my own goddamn business.
So anyway, they bury her in the, tomb in the house, and, that night there's, like, a horrible storm, and the narrator's kept up from, like, the storm, and he's scared, and there's, like, this mist that arises, like, outside of the castle, because there's, like, a lake or something that's surrounding the castle, like most castles.
Right.
And he's, like, up in the room, and he's pacing, and he's, like, terrified, because he thinks he had seen, like, an apparition or something. And, Roderick Usher, like, comes rushing in, and he's like, did you see her? Did you see her? And he's, like, terrified, and, he's, like, opening the windows to the storm, and the narrator's like, all right, like, let's try to calm down. Let me read to you. Yeah. And so he reads to him this story, and I wish I knew the significance of the story. It's called Mad Tryst by Sir Lancelot Conning, a medieval romance. And, like, he talks about, like, armor clanging in the story and, like, a dragon's screech. And every time he, like, describes these different noises, he hears them, like, in the distance, and he's like, ooh, like, what's that?
Freaky.
Yeah, but I'm gonna ignore it.
Like everything else.
And then finally, like, Roderick Usher is just, like, mumbling, and he's, like, going crazy, and you figure out they buried his sister alive in the tomb in the house. And he says in the story, in the movie we watched, he said, like, a few hours ago I heard movement. But in the story, he says, like, several days ago he heard movement, which is, that's so gross and freaky and terrifying. That's one of my biggest fears.
Getting buried alive?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the thought of that is, I can't think about it for too long. But, yeah, so they buried his sister alive in the tomb, and instead of being like, hey, maybe let me go check on her and save her, he just, like, ignores it until this night. And while he's, like, saying this, he's like, oh, like, she's standing outside the door now, and the door opens, and Madeline, the sister, is standing there alive, all bloody because she just, like, struggled to get out of this tomb, and she, like, attacks the brother. And according to Spark Notes, she attacks Roderick, and the life drains from her, and he dies from the fear of it. So they both die in that instant. And then the narrator's like, all right, peace, and leaves, and the house crumbles to the ground, and the House of Usher falls. So that's our episode for this month.
Bye. It's been 12 minutes. So the biggest twist.
Yeah.
The M. Night Shyamalan twist on this story is that Madeline is Uma Thurman. And this is actually Kill Bill.
I like that.
Welcome to my crib.
That is the recast right there.
That's it. Podcast over. Life over. Pack everything up. We're leaving.
Yeah.
Bitch, I am elsewhere right now. I'm trying to focus, and it's really hard.
That's all right. That's what makes it fresh and interesting.
Yeah, I really liked the story, but I feel like it would have been better had the brother, like, killed, obviously, the sister, buried her alive, but then killed the narrator. Because there's, like, it's just so random that the narrator would just, like, he'd be like, oh, I need you to come hang out. Like, I would be thinking, if it was me, I'd be like, what is this person planning?
Yeah.
Plotting, scheming.
Yeah.
And then maybe the sister come back and kill them, and everybody die.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody died anyway.
And the House of Usher falls.
I love his writing, though. It's so much fun to read. It's a lot.
Yeah, you know, and you have to be very focused.
And you write about the small, like, print. Like, my book was small print, too, and it was, like...
It's small print and then long lines. So you get to the end of the line, you try to go to the beginning of the next, and you lose it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was reading with my finger.
I was going to offer you a magnifying glass. That would have been very meta. Very, like...
That would have been very Edgar Allan Poe of you.
That's me reading with the magnifying glass. My face is so itchy. We're having, like, serious pollen season here now.
Go get some moisturizer.
No, it's, like, inside my life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all the... Did Poe just go to bed?
I put him up for now, just while we're doing this.
He's being so quiet.
Well, he does good when I put him in there. Yeah, so my son, my boy, my child, my puppy, his name is Poe, and he's named after the great Edgar Allan Poe. He doesn't act like him, though.
No, he is not mysterious one bit. He puts it all out there.
Yeah.
There's no questions.
Yeah. He's a good boy.
He is a good boy. He tries his hardest.
He does sometimes. But yeah, so Edgar Allan Poe, he's an author, a poet that I've always admired. Yeah. I think I was introduced to him in middle school. And we read and watched Follow the House of Usher and then The Pit and the Pendulum.
In middle school?
Yeah, in 7th grade. I remember sitting there watching it on the projector and being like, what is this?
Wow. We read The Cask of
Amontillado. We read that too.
Yeah, well, I didn't read it in middle
freaky.
school.
I think I read that in high school.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to finish
because he gets buried alive as well.
Oh. Well.
That's like a recurring theme.
Yeah. Maybe that has a lot to do with how he felt in his personal life.
Probably. Yeah, some tragic facts about Edgar Allan Poe. All the women that he loved in his life died. His birth mother, his adopted mother, and his wife / cousin. They all died from tuberculosis.
It's Game of Thrones.
Basically. Yeah, his cousin, I think her name was Virginia, was 13 when he married her, and I'm pretty sure.
How old was he? Like in his 30s?
I think so. Like it was really gross. And
nowadays,
not okay.
That would not fly.
No,
thank God.
And like part of me is like, that's not okay back then either, but I guess it was.
Yeah, could you imagine like news coming out? Nicholas Sparks.
Yeah,
marries a 15-year-old,
and they're related. You can do that in North Carolina. Can't you marry your first cousin in North Carolina?
I don't know if that's still a rule.
I hope it's not.
If it isn't, we'll have to cut this out. Hello?
It at least used to be, because I remember before gay marriage was legalized, we were like, gay people can get married, but you can marry your first cousin.
I'm about to ask. Hold on.
Okay.
You know, it always like weirds me out that Edgar Allan Poe was born and like stayed in America his whole life. Like he was an American writer. I always think of him as a British writer.
I do too. He was an American Gothic writer.
Yeah.
He should have been. I feel like
He's born in Boston.
I feel like I'm so bad at history, but I'm sure America at that time was pretty like horrible too, but like as far as like living conditions were.
1809 is when he was born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like England at that time was like, I just imagine like cobblestone roads and like people throwing their shit like out of windows.
I know.
Yeah, he died when he was 40 years old.
Me too.
What else? He
had a wide head.
Yeah.
He had a square head.
Yeah. He dropped out of school because he couldn't afford it anymore, I believe.
I thought he went to the military academy.
He did. Yeah,
he went couldn't afford the military academy?
I think that was like... No, he went to UVA.
Oh, okay, military.
For his first year. I believe it was the University of Virginia.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, because I know they have like the dorm room he stayed in, like,
cute,
as a tourist attraction.
I wonder if he was clean.
I feel like I'm pretty sure. So he died of, like, nobody's 100% sure of what he died from.
Excuse me.
That's okay. People, like, speculated that it was consumption or... I
thought it was TB, but everyone else died of TB.
Yeah.
That was a rough time for TB.
Yeah, it was. Get that shot, guys. Vaccinate your kids.
I'm an anti-vaxxer.
Are you really?
No.
Oh, I was like,
my mom would fucking murder me just for joking about that.
Well, there are some kids of nurses who, like a girl I know, her mom's a nurse, and she said that, like, her mom will not let her get the flu shot.
Her mom, by law, is required to get the flu shot, but she won't let her daughter get the flu shot.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's the dumbest shit
I don't know, but vaccinate your kids so we don't get smallpox.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so nobody knows what he died from. I guess back then there just weren't, like, the autopsies and stuff, you know, but, I think he was pretty, I should have done more research. I think he was pretty disgraced as an author in his time.
Really?
I don't know. He worked as an editor for a paper.
Me too.
I don't really. I mean,
he had an interesting life.
Yeah, he had an interesting life. He had a short life, which I guess it was pretty long for 1800s, early 1800s.
Yeah.
40. I don't know. Yeah, so Edgar Allan Poe, really sad. A great genius. And again, like many others, like Vincent Van Gogh, gone too soon and appreciated far after their deaths.
True that.
Yeah. So the story was cool. I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was underwhelming.
Short stories are always very impressive to me because you can have such a well-rounded story in 15 pages. And that's so amazing to me because...
Was that 15 pages?
I think just about.
Oh my god, it felt like it was like 5.
Yeah.
I like read it, I was like, is it over already?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really have like clear chapters because like in my book, like once it ends, another one begins. Like, so I couldn't tell like when it was over.
Yeah, it ends fairly abruptly. Like he leaves and the house falls.
Deuces.
That's it.
I guess it was a good time for him to leave.
Yeah.
So we watched the 1950 film.
Yeah,
and it was
we did.
god awful. I mean, there's really not much you can expect.
Yeah.
But like The Wizard of Oz was filmed in like what, 37 or something like that. Look. And The Wizard of Oz was so much better. So much better.
39.
39. Damn, I said 37.
Ow. You were close.
So still 11 years.
Yeah.
Later, and I don't know, I'm sure they purposefully like try to make it look a little bit older to kind of meet like the 1800s kind of like spooky stuff to it, but it was so poorly edited.
Oh yeah, everything about it was really rough to watch.
And it was like, maybe it was like a B movie back then, like today's equivalent.
Yeah.
It was bad though.
Well,
and the acting was bad.
When did Dracula come out? The original.
Bram Stoker's Dracula came out in 1909?
Okay.
Was it? No, check, because I want to know.
Whichever one the first one was. I remember reading about how what was so creepy about Dracula was how slowly he moved.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's one thing I could not stand about the movie was, like, everything bad that was happening. Like, people that were being chased, they were just tiptoeing. Like, step.
Yeah.
Step. And I'm like, run! But I guess back then, like, the horror was, like, the slow moving.
Right.
It was so bad. Yeah, they really took liberty with the story, and they added a whole other storyline. Which didn't... I was a little...
I don't even think they stuck to the original storyline besides him burying her.
Yeah.
And her coming back.
Yeah.
But, like, that whole little, like, witch thing that was supposed to be their mother.
Yeah.
Who was only a head.
The father was only a head.
Oh.
The mother was that thing that was walking around.
I was exhausted by the end of it. I was, like, falling asleep watching it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy, like, older movies, but it was, like, especially
it wasn't a
bad.
good, yeah. And that's the only one we could get our hands on, too. Like, the 1920s version was unavailable.
I wanted to watch that one.
Yeah.
It's like, what, 1928 or something?
Yeah.
1923. I don't remember. One of the two. Hell yeah. I was really upset about that. I was looking forward to seeing that. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The movie was not my favorite. I feel like if it was redone now, it could be pretty cool. At least as like a short film.
Yeah.
Like at a festival, I would watch that.
You should make it.
You'd have to get rights and all that good stuff. That would be expensive.
Peach posh. What if it's just for educational purposes?
I guess you could, but then you couldn't, like, try to market it and sell it as your own and, like, make a profit off of it and, like...
Yeah, then you let someone big see that, just per happenstance, and they buy the rights for you. And then they make it into a feature. That's how the film business works. I'm just kidding. I have no fucking clue.
I mean, it's probably not far off. But yeah, so... Recast Uma Thurman, M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire as the narrator. Leonardo DiCaprio as Broderick Usher.
Oh my god, that would be like a bad acid trip.
Yeah, it would.
Ugh, Leo.
Did you see the preview for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
And it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
That's his 9th film. And I have a strong belief in the number 9, like number 9 stands firm.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good movie.
So, do you have a favorite story or poem from Edgar Allan Poe? Cask of Amontillado is a good one.
Yeah.
I think
that's the one in the catacombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
And it's Fortunato, and Fortunato is the one that gets walled in, right? And it's, like, ironic because his name's Fortunato. The Raven's a classic. Everybody knows The Raven.
Nevermore.
Nevermore.
What is that Why is a Raven like a writing desk? Is that from...
That's from,
Alice in Wonderland?
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else you want to say about Edgar Allan Poe? My favorite poem by him is... My favorite thing from Edgar Allan Poe is Annabelle Lee. That was the first poem that I read by him that I was just like, wow. So let's talk about the upcoming month and stuff.
So yes, this upcoming month, we have decided to not quite take a break, but...
Because we will not be taking a break.
No, not at all. We're still going to read, but we're both in transition right now, like out of our house, and into other spaces. So it's just, we're thinking we'll read like a longer book over the span of, April and May.
Yeah.
And then we'll do an episode in May, like we always do.
Yeah, like a 2-part thing.
Right.
3-part, question mark?
Possibly.
4 parts?
And there's a lot to talk about. So, because it's such a good book and it's such an iconic movie that there's going to be a shit ton to talk about.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited.
Yeah. So, would you like to reveal that book?
Would you?
Yeah.
You reveal the title, I'll reveal the author.
Right, because you have the author over there.
Yeah.
Is it Thomas something?
Yeah.
Good. I just saw it when I was putting it in the box. So, for our April and May book of the month, our 2 book of the month, 2 months book. Book of the 2 months. Book of the 2 months is Silence of the Lambs
by Thomas Harris.
Thomas Harris. Oh my god, I couldn't remember that name.
It's a really generic name.
It is.
Which like actually, John Smith.
So yeah, that's such a good book. So it's basically about this detective who is just kind of starting out in her field, and of course she's placed with like one of the hardest cases. She's like going after this man who is abducting these girls and who has recently abducted this I think he's like a government official or like a mayor or something, some sort of government worker. Or maybe she's famous. Anyway, she has some notoriety. And so he kidnaps her, and they're trying to find her because she has no notoriety. She has all these, police officers after her. She's not some nameless girl. She actually gets police attention.
Wait, don't spoil anything because I really have no idea what the plot
is.
No,
I won't. Okay. So she's after this person. She's like, And then in the meantime, she's having to get advice about how to catch a serial killer from a serial killer.
Oh, you're talking about, what's his name? The guy that skinned the ladies?
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill. Yeah, okay. I remember
Which is
that.
loosely based on...
Joe Dirt.
Exactly.
No, I'm so sorry.
No, it's just loosely based on, like, some serial killers, like Ed Gein, who was known for, like, skinning women. He had a nipple belt. Yeah, a belt full of nipples.
That just
you should look up some of the stuff they found at his house. It's disgusting. Like, he has, like, faces.
We'll do that and talk about it.
Yeah.
We have to figure out how to record separately.
I know, we're gonna figure it out. So anyway, it's just an amazing book, and she's like this woman in like the 80s, so she's like really undermined.
Yeah.
Maybe even in the 70s, I don't remember. But like, and that's a time where serial killers were like really big, and it was like
very
kind of
prominent,
like
yeah,
exactly, almost like mass shootings now. I feel like are serial killers back then.
Wow.
'Cause you don't really ever hear about serial killers anymore. I mean, you do, but you don't. Not
like it was.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins plays Hannibal Lecter, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
The only bit of information I know about...
And Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Can't miss Jodie Foster.
The only bit of information I know about the whole story, we had to do a scene for it in class, and I was Jodie Foster, and this other dude was Anthony Hopkins, Hannibal. And it was the scene where she meets him for the first time in the jail, and it was so, like, just gross and like freaky, and their whole interaction was so like intense, and I'm really excited.
You haven't seen the movie?
No.
Okay, so that's gonna be even better because the movie's so good.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
And Jodie Foster, just historically, non-fictionally speaking, she was like queer, and there wasn't many like queer actresses, and like she already has like kind of like a of the time, like she was one of the only like gay actresses.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
April and May.
April's the big month. We're both moving. Game of Thrones comes out.
Oh yeah, it does. Oh God.
We're trying to maneuver, like, how we're going to record.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so Haley's moving to the Big Apple.
Alex is moving to the Big Acorn.
But yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be really sad. Haley and I won't physically be, like, recording together, which is fine. I feel like we'll be able to FaceTime. We'll be able to FaceTime, and we have these super rad, like, splitter things. So we can, like, have headphones in and also have our microphone plugged in. So I think we'll be okay recording. Because right now we're doing it as a unit on one computer. I'll just
you'll have to find a way to...
Yeah, I'll have to slate it, and I'll have to edit the two audios. But that would be okay.
How are we going to do FaceTime? Like, are they going to...
I think we can FaceTime and also record on QuickTime. We'll experiment. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
So yeah, we're going to make it work.
Yeah. It's an exciting time. It's sad because we won't be together, but it's really exciting for Haley, and I'm excited to go back to school.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting, and we'll figure it out. And I'm sure there will be times where we can plan, like, a trip I come up and we can record together or something. It'll all work out. No, I'll be here a little bit longer, packing up the house.
Hell
yeah, Haley's off this weekend.
Literally this weekend. We have had no time to prepare for this. But we've had this whole time. The end game was June. The end of June. So we had already planned to separate. But it wasn't supposed to be this quickly.
Until Haley got an amazing job offer.
And that's why Alex is going back to school. We do this thing where, like, we get in, like, public, or this is public, kind of, and, like, we will compete with each other, but for the other person. Yeah. Like, so, you know, you get with some of your friends, and you'll be like, oh, I'm doing this, and they'll, like, one-up you, and be like, oh, well, I'm doing this, this, and this. We do it the opposite. Like, we'll be out, and Alex will be like, oh, well, Haley's doing this. And I'm like, well, Alex is doing this. And she's doing that. How am I going to find anyone else like that? Or that I argue about doing the dishes with on the opposite. We're arguing about who does the dishes.
Haley, we can't do this right now because I'm too intoxicated to not cry.
I've been crying my whole life.
We're just really, really humble, generous people that are so selfless and only talk about others.
Like, we get mad when the other does the dishes because we want her to do the dishes for the other. We're like a good couple.
Yeah, we are.
That's like goals right there. And I hate to say that word, but that's goals.
We are like, goals, guys.
Goals. People, like,
you should all be jealous.
Should aspire to be us.
I'll never find a husband because he won't be as good as you. No, we can't.
I just burped when I did that. I know. Believe me, I know. I say I wish I could just take her up north with me. Stick her in my pocket.
Maybe I'll be there. Maybe I'll be there soon. You never know.
No, you should move up there. We should make that a 2-year plan.
My 2-year plan has changed at least 7 times in the last 6 months.
Amen.
So.
If it's not constantly changing, are you really living?
That's true.
No.
Good advice.
Thanks. What can I say? So we have a lot to do. So if anybody wants to paint our house...
Yeah, we have a lot of marks on our walls.
If anyone wants to clean the floors... What are you looking at?
Nothing. I'm just looking at our balcony.
I know. That's going to be nice to sit on a couple more times.
So yeah, it's going to be a big transition for the bitches, but the bitches will persevere.
Yeah, we handle change well.
Yeah, we do. We appreciate all the people that have already asked.
Yeah, that's been nice. Like, people being like, oh, you guys still gotta do the podcast? And I'm like, yeah, you know what?
Oh, God.
Oh, that scared me so badly. Hi, Mimi. Wait, just side note, do you remember when we texted Andy, and was like, have you heard anything?
Yeah. Has anything weird happened?
That was some crazy shit.
We had a lot of things happen.
Wait, do you want to include the ghost story in it? I think it'd be nice if people want to hear it.
Sure.
We shouldn't call it a ghost story because we're selling house. It's a spirit. It's the story of our interaction with the spirit.
Yeah, with our spirit that allows us to coexist with them.
Amen. So, Alex and I moved into this house, which we've mentioned before is like pre-war, for sure pre-war. Like, pre-1900s. Probably, like, 1890s, maybe 1900s.
I think it was 1860 or something.
Then there you go. And so, we live in this really old house. And so, like, automatically, like, we're, like, you know, off the bat kind of wary. Because, you know, it's an old house. And we're like, oh.
Lots of history.
Something?
Yeah.
And one night, when we had moved in, what was it, like the second, third weekend we were here?
It was very early on.
Yeah, very soon into the game. We already kind of were like, we had little EBGBs, but nothing had happened.
We had saged.
Right. And so we go out with these two friends of ours. We send the one friend home in an Uber.
Yep.
Remember, she goes, Gabby won't go. Gabby
well, after, so we sat and we have like two living rooms kind of. And so we were in one living room. And in the other living room, I have my record player against a window and I had records playing. I believe the certain record was by The Weeknd.
That's right.
What is it called? I can't remember. It was
Kissland. No.
It was the one with his face.
XOXO.
Maybe. So we had The Weeknd playing, which, you know, a lot of people, it's already disrespectful that we're playing The Weeknd on a vinyl.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean.
I you know what? I resent that.
Okay, he's good.
Maybe not Kissland The Weeknd. Maybe more like the trilogy. The Weeknd.
I think
like
it might have been.
First
Oh, no. It wasn't the trilogy.
Anyway.
Yeah, so that record was playing in the front living room, and we were in the middle living room.
Like, listening to it.
Yeah, and, like, eating our tacos at, like,
drunk.
3 in the morning. We had been out. We were drinking.
We were drunk.
Pretty drunk. Yeah, so we sent the one friend home.
Yeah.
My other friend was too drunk to even go get her pajamas on. So she passed out on the couch.
Literally passed out.
And we went to our respective rooms.
Right.
And we passed out.
And then the next morning.
Alex
knocks on my fucking door.
Well, so I
wake up.
You woke up. I think my friend had already left. But while I was sitting with my friend, I, like, went into the living room where she had passed out on the couch.
No, Louisa was still there, I think.
Okay.
Because I remember looking at her like, bitch.
Okay, so her name's Louisa. She listens to our podcast. Hey, Louisa.
Hey, Louisa, girl.
I miss you. Come back from India, please.
Amen. But come back safely, please.
Yeah. So Louisa, I went into the living room. I sat on the couch, and we were just chit-chatting about the night before. Oh, my God. I just got, like, chill bumps.
Creepy.
And I look into the front living room.
Which is attached to a balcony.
Yes. And
like
the balcony door is shut. But on our balcony, we have an iron table, and 2 iron chairs.
And we keep the balcony door locked.
Yeah, at all times.
Yeah. Even though we're on the second floor. But still.
Yeah.
Because it's very, like, the latch.
Yeah. You know, and so I look over, and the iron chair from the balcony is sitting facing away. Facing away from us, next to the record player. And I looked at it. The window. Yeah, looking out the window. And so we have a fireplace right next to it, too. I know. I cannot believe that this happened. And we have a fireplace right next to it, so there's, like, wood, like, lining the fireplace. And so one of the chair legs was on that piece of wood, so it was wobbly. If the person that sat in it, it probably would have, like, knocked off the wood. And we wouldn't have pulled
iron chair out from the night before.
Yeah, they're fucking heavy.
Yeah, they are. And it's just, it was unnecessary. We have plenty of seating. We have, like, 4 couches.
And I literally sat there, and I was like, did you bring that in? And Louisa looked at it, and she's like, no. And I was like, okay.
And Louisa, she's, like, a funny gal, but Alex said...
At this point, 2 years later, she would have said something.
Louisa, please,
100%.
If you have not come clean, please come clean for the sake of me.
But also, I don't think she would, like, I don't think we talked about any, like, activity happening here or anything. Like, I don't think she would have done that to mess with us.
Right. And that's a really hard thing to do. Like, if she sleepwalks, that's a really hard thing to do.
And, like, it would have been noisy. We would have heard the balcony door.
I'm surprised you didn't hear. I mean, you are kind of a heavier sleeper. But still.
Know. But so...
Anyway.
Louisa's like, no. And so Haley wakes up a few minutes later, and I, like, go to her, and I'm like, hey, did you do that? And Haley doesn't even come into the, like, the second living room and, like, looking into the first. She just, like, she just peers, and she's just like, no. And as far as I remember, I wish I had, like, checked to see if the balcony door was still locked.
Even if it was.
But we, at the time, we had a rug in front of the balcony door that always got messed up whenever we opened it, because, like, it slid it.
Right.
And that wasn't messed up.
It wasn't?
No. And when we went out...
Was the door open?
No, the door was shut. The balcony door was shut.
I always thought it was open.
No, it was shut. If it was open, I would have gone and shut it. And it wasn't, so you walk out onto the balcony and it's like chair, table, chair.
Right.
But it wasn't even that first chair, it was the second chair. So you would have had to gone like around the chair and the table to get to the second chair and then walk it in.
Well, the only reason that I have a hard time believing that it was paranormal was because that is a heavy fucking
It
chair.
is.
And to open up the door and then close the door behind itself.
I'm getting freaked out talking about it. And then bring it across
the room. That doesn't sound paranormal. It sounds like one of us like did it in our sleep.
But I don't sleepwalk. I have no history of sleepwalking.
I think I do, but like when I was like 5 or 6 years old, like tiny.
Yeah. And we were both drunk. When I'm drunk, I pass out and I don't move.
Yeah, because I remember I had a little bit of a hangover the next day. And Louisa didn't do it. Like, I have no words. And so my parents' first thoughts were, does someone have a key to your house? And no one had a key to our house, except for maybe the old neighbor who had moved to the mountains way by then.
Yeah, but even up on the balcony, I don't think there's a key to get into the balcony door.
From the outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
And why would they just move a chair?
Right.
We'll never know, and it'll perplex me until the day I die.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I'm just thinking about it, chills, like hell. I mean, and we've had other, like, really odd things. That's definitely the biggest thing that's ever happened that we've been like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
But we've had, like, other things happen, too. So, like, as far as, like, lights, like, flickering out of nowhere.
Footsteps knocking. And we did have...
My fucking closet door was open that one time we came back from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And I still sleep in that goddamn room.
We did have terrible we live in a duplex, and our original downstairs neighbors were awful. Yeah. Giving off terrible energy. So I wonder if it had anything to do with that, because our downstairs neighbors now are, a lot better. And we haven't had quite as much activity. But the very day that Haley got the job offer and was like, I have to move to New York in like 2 weeks, we had like lights flickering that never flicker and like are currently still on.
Right, they're on like as we speak. Like,
yeah,
I know,
it don't flicker.
What if they did? We'd be sleeping outside in my car. Yeah, I'm not kidding. We would take these microphones and we'd go to lay down my seat. Oh right, we could just go to your parents' house.
Lay down my seat. But yeah, we've had we really haven't had activity, and I think it's because we're respectful people.
We are.
But I also wonder if whatever resides here is like, damn, like, bye guys, like, it's been real.
I don't know.
Because the guy that lived here before us was disgusting and dirty, and we really shaped this place up.
No, we did. You guys should have seen it. Why? I mean, you guys can't see it now, but we have, to say the very least, we have worked very hard on decorating it. And the guy before us had like what? He had a green screen where he would play video games in front of. And then he had like jazz fucking posters around. He had like a drum set. He was just disrespecting the fuck out of the house.
Yeah.
It was not clean at all. Anyway, so yeah, we've definitely had like freaky things happen.
I mean, that last episode we had, that shit fell while we were sitting here, and it had been sitting here the whole time.
Do you remember when the fucking blanket fell off? So I was sitting there with my dog on the other end of the couch. Alex was sitting on our other couch, and we're both facing forward, like watching probably Game of Thrones or something. And this blanket that was on the arm of the couch, untouched for weeks, months,
hours, while we were sitting there.
Right, exactly. Like, and I never use that blanket. It's just like a blanket we have for like Izzy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it just falls. And it's blanket on blanket. So fabric on fabric.
It's not like slippery.
Exactly. It's got fucking traction.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to get a nice clean sound for you. So it just falls. it just falls quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't like a slide down. It, like, poof, like, comes down.
Yeah. And we've heard footsteps on the stairs.
We used to hear them all the time.
Yeah.
Even when people didn't live downstairs.
Yeah. We live on the second floor of a duplex, and so we have stairs inside, like wooden stairs, and there's always, like, this one stair that would creak.
Yeah.
And we would hear it, like, when we walked down the stairs, we knew which stair it was. Mm-hmm. And there's, like, no reason why.
If you and I have never pointed at the stair before, but I bet if we both went out there and pointed at the stair, it'd probably be the same exact stair. Yeah. Because you know exactly what stair it is. Yeah. Izzy's like, what's up, bitches?
And I don't know what it is in my room. Like, I have a toy chest, that, like, white chest that, like, my great-grandfather built for my mom back in the day. Uh-huh. And it sounds like it creaks. Like, there's just, like, a pop of wood or something. And it happens, like, almost once a night. And there's no explanation. Like, I don't know what it is. Ugh. I have no idea what it is. But it creaks, like, once a night.
Just in case.
Yeah.
But your door is attached to the bathroom, so you can't really sleep with it. Yeah. Here we trickle at, like, 3 o'clock in the morning.
I have had to leave it open sometimes because it gets so cold in my room and the bathroom stays so warm that I just, like, open it.
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting time living in this house.
But I feel very I don't know. It's been cool too. Like, it has been freaky. There was one time where I did leave the house because I was here alone and I heard
with the water bottle.
That was another thing. But I was in my room and I was changing. And at the time, we just had Izzy. Mm-hmm. And she's a bigger dog, but, like, you know when it's her footsteps.
Right, because you can hear her, like...
Yeah, you can hear her, like, nails and stuff. And I just remember one day I heard, like, heavy footsteps walking down our hall, and it scared me to the point where I was, like, tearing up. It sounded like somebody was walking down our hall. I think I was texting you.
You were like, I don't want to leave Izzy, but, like, I gotta go.
I literally had to leave the house because I was so freaked out. Oh. But, I mean, you know... we've been respectful, and it hasn't been, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Starts with an M.
Malicious.
Yeah. So I feel very lucky, and I feel like it's a cool experience. Yeah. It's definitely lots of stories for us.
Didn't you have someone over one time, and they were like, do you have something in your, like, is there something in your house, that woman?
No, it was a guy. So, so I took an acting class at my old college, and I live downtown near the campus, so we used our house a lot for different scenes because we would film, like, we would try to film actual scenes, and it was cool because we got to use our house, and it felt like a real set. And so this older guy, he wasn't in my class, but he was, like, this really old, like, wise man that had previously been in the acting classes and stuff.
I love it.
And he came in, and he sat down, and he was just asking me about the house, and he was like, have you guys, like, had things happen here before? And I was like, actually, like, yeah. That's funny you mentioned. And he was like, I really feel an energy here. And I was like, oh my God.
Like, why would he ask that?
Yeah.
You're like someone that doesn't
completely
really know
out of the blue. Yeah, him and I think we were in one scene previously.
I have to pee, and I'm not going in the bathroom unless you go. Watch me.
It was really cool, but also I'm like, wow, like, it kind of, I don't know, because sometimes I don't feel crazy, but, like, I'm like, is it really? Yeah. But I genuinely believe that there are, like, spirits still here with us on Earth, and
there's definitely an energy here.
Absolutely, and I think it's a good energy, and I'm gonna miss the energy.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely giving us a run for our money.
Absolutely,
Isabel.
But yeah, when he said that, I was like, wow, unprompted, it was just weird that he was able to feel that.
I swear to God, I know I have to stay up for, like, another 2 hours. Like, I can't. And I'm just afraid with all this moving, and, like, I know we'll sage. Like, whenever we sage, it seems to... This has turned into an episode about our house. But I think this will be nice.
Yeah. I feel like the fall of the House of Alex and Haley.
Oh, but really, though, because it's ending in April. Because I'm canceling the trash. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely a fall. The leftover trash of the House of Haley and Alex.
Yeah.
Alex and Haley.
I know, I am a little bit nervous to be here without you.
I know.
But it does comfort me that we have neighbors below us. It's kind of like an apartment. Like, like, you have people around you.
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, exactly. You're not in some house.
Yeah,
in the
and
middle
I
of
don't,
nowhere.
if I had Poe, if I did not have Poe, I would be moving out this weekend as well.
Yeah.
Like, I feel very comforted to have my boy.
I wish I didn't have to, like, leave you so early.
No.
You
gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta chase those big, not even dreams, they're realities.
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
Thanks, girlfriend. We've both been kicking ass this year. Or this 2018. We deserve everything that's coming to us in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
Unless it's death.
Hopefully. Shut up.
Shut up. Shut up. Just shut up. Shut up. Do you remember that song?
Shut up. Just shut up. Shut up.
Black Eyed Peas. Okay. Alright. Should we end this?
Yeah. It was a sweet, short episode. Yeah.
And we got some freaky, some scary
Edgar Allan Poe
stories.
got us in the mood.
Got us feeling spooky.
Yeah.
Alright.
So next month.
We'll see you in May.
Yeah. Or 2 months from now. Yeah. Don't miss us too much, guys.
I know you will.
Silence of the Lambs. Start
good.
reading it because it's going to take all of us a very long time.
It is. And we're going to have so much to talk about. And the movie is like 2+ hours long.
Man, I'm not going to want to watch that by myself.
We can FaceTime while we watch it. It's on Netflix.
We're going to have to start at the same time.
Yeah. We can do that.
Okay.
We'll plan for it.
We'll figure it out.
We're just going to have to like do a lot of Google Calendars. Do you have a Google Calendar?
No, but I'll get one because I have a Gmail.
Exactly. Moving on up. All right.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Love you. Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed our stories.
Yeah.
This will be the last podcast we record in this house.
It's been real.
Let's give it a moment of silence.
How long is a moment of silence?
Just a few seconds.
How much a few though? 3?
Let's give it 5.
That's long. Okay. I'm sorry.
It's not a moment of silence.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to disrespect our podcast.
Ready?
Wow. Because then I'm thinking, like, is it 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi?
I don't know. I just went 1, 2, 3.
She actually counted.
Yeah, with my fingers.
No, her toes.
I'm going back to school, guys.
Too cool for school.
All right. Well, we'll see you in May. Enjoy April.
Yeah.
April showers bring May flowers. So
never to wear your deodorant.
That too.
Because it's been hot the past couple days. And I keep
eye drops close.
Do you get dry
eat
eyes
local honey because that helps with allergies.
Ugh. I'm going through it.
That's all I have to say. Honey is vegan in my opinion because the honeybees don't need the honey.
I agree with you.
Plant flowers to help the honeybees thrive this spring season.
But not Cheerios flowers because they actually fucked up the planet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was like a huge thing. Like they gave out the wrong kind of seed or something. Or gave out too many.
No, I didn't hear about that.
I'll send you the article later.
Damn. All right, don't plant Cheerios flowers.
Fuck Cheerios.
Right, also don't support Chick-fil-A. All right.
Bye.
Cool. We'll see you in May.
It's gonna be May.